Man, the damn dog bit the dog whistle. See how it's a little doggy whistle? This is a literal dog whistle, not a metaphorical one. And the dog chewed the dog whistle. You dang dog, dang dog, dang. I'm bummed because she warped it. So now I can't do the. The dog got it. Oh, I'm very disappointed. That was my dog whistle. My literal dog whistle, not figurative. It was a literal one. Can you even figuratively dog whistle to socialists? Can you? I don't think you can. Well, maybe like, hey, free Luigi. Lancelot Sanchez. Or is that Lancelot? I don't know. It all blends together. Hello, how are you? How is your day going? How is your afternoon? How is the sun in your neck of the woods? Is it coming out to shine on you? Look at that handsome man. Look at him. Luigi. Oh, is he giving us the old power to us? That's a leftist dog whistle. I was wondering because I have a literal dog whistle. Is it? And it's broken now. Dang dog destroyed the dog whistle. Try to say that 40 times fast. And I was wondering, are there even leftist dog whistles? You know? And I guess that's one right there. I see ya. I see ya. That's my homie. That's my homie, Luigi. Innocent until proven guilty, and let's just say innocent. Saved the lives of millions of people, if he's guilty of what he's accused of. But we do have precedent here in America where you are innocent till proven guilty. We're going to listen to some Scott Bessent, an absolute turd of a person, a garbage man. Not his official title, but you know, how he behaves. That's how I judge people. Hold on one second. Hey, Orangey. Orangey, you leave the dog alone. Orangey. Orangey, you gotta stop. This little Orangey is harassing the dog. Don't harass the dog. Okay? Don't harass the dog. Don't be a dog harasser. Don't go right up to her face and start going, rawr. You know how cats do that groan? Come on, Orangey. Be a good guy. Be a nice guy. Look at how sweet he is. Oh, look at that sweet boy. Orangey. Orangey. Don't you be a meanie. Don't you harass the doggy. You're just a baby. Don't harass the doggy. But we're going to listen to some audio of Scott Bessent telling you Americans you don't know how good you got it. Man, leave it to the multi-hundred millionaires to show us how out of touch they are, you know? If you guys didn't see this clip, I'm excited to play it for you. And then we're going to talk about how we're going to tax Scott Bessent and his husband right out of being multi-billionaires, or whatever number they've come up with lately. Orangey, leave the dog alone. Dog, don't. She's baiting you, or he's baiting you. You heard me, Orangey. Get out of here. This is Scott Bessent. You can identify him by the gobbler on his neck. The old gobbler. What is with this regime wearing so much makeup? Jesus, maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's the Treasury Secretary. Dude, these old men cake on the makeup. It's like, Christ, just look your age. That's going to be my campaign slogan. Look your age. It's going to be my campaign slogan. But we're going to listen to Mr. Scott Bessent. Which, by the way, he was formerly a partner at the Soros Fund Management. I wonder what that is. A firm founded in 1970 by George Soros? I thought MAGA hated Soros and they hired the Soros partner? Oh my goodness. And this guy who is, let's see, what is he worth? 600 million, just roughly 600 million. Let's see what old Scotty Best Bombati has to say to all of America who's struggling before the holidays. And you all are. If you're going to say some in the chat like, I like chicken, sounds like a pink fur. Is that a K-pop thing? Pink fur? Sounds like a K-pop thing. I don't know what it is. But let's see what old Scotty the not a hottie Besant, I believe that's what they call them at the Soros Fund, at the George Soros Fund. They call them Scotty not a hottie. Boo. Let's see what he has to say to Americans. Let's see. I bet it's a gem. You know, Scott Besant, worth closer to $600 million. He's the guy we want. Here's a rule of thumb. Pick up on the sarcasm. A general rule of thumb is, if you're wondering, if you're going, hey, I went to the grocery store and it seems like I'm getting less food for more money. What could be going on here? The general rule of thumb is you go to a 600 millionaire who is set for life, you know, couldn't even tell you the price of egg. He's like, Michael, what could a gallon of milk cost? $50? I don't know. You know, he probably has his husband's, you know, niece do their food shopping or something. It's like, we'll pay you. You could take the car. But I usually go to people like this when I'm like, God damn, man, rent seems high. You know, food is really expensive. Healthcare prices are out of control. What could it be? And then I go, Scott, could you tell me if I'm just, you know, getting less for my money? Or am I just imagining this? So now let's go over to Scott, because the $600 million man who used to work at the George Soros Fund has some information for you Americans.
60% of Americans polled by this network told us President Trump makes prices and inflation sound better than they really are. And his approval rating on the economy is now down to 36% in our latest poll. On inflation, approval is even lower at 32%. Don't you need to show that you feel the pain?
Well, Margaret, I think the president's frustrated by the media coverage of what's going on.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I have to pause. Scotty, the not a hottie Boombody. Can you just shut the fuck up for a second? We're talking about prices and inflation, and how expensive things are, and your reaction immediately is, it's the media coverage? I do go by the old Tupac way of living. Don't trust anybody. But when we're talking about prices and you say, well, it's really, you know, the coverage the media is playing. What the fuck? Let's rewind this. Just so you know you're not crazy and I can know I'm not crazy.
Inflation approval is even lower at 32%. Don't you need to show that you feel the pain?
Well, Margaret, I think the president's frustrated by the media coverage of what's going on.
This is the polling of average Americans.
But I think the average Americans, they are hearing a lot of it from media coverage. The American people don't know how good they have it.
That's what it, guys, we figured it out. This $600 million man, old Scott Besant, a gay man working in Trump's treasury, who worked for the George Soros Fund before this. Do you like that, MAGA? Are you excited that you finally scored a George Soros guy? You've been ranting and raving about George Soros forever. And this guy was literally paid by George Soros. This isn't like theoretical. This is on his Wikipedia. You can just click that and go here. And it's like, oh shit, he wasn't even paid. He was a partner. I'm not sure if it takes takes some trust and money to become a partner at the Soros Fund. But this dude was a partner. And what did he say? Let's go over that again. The $600 million man says, I know you polled American people, average Americans, and they're like, yo, shit's wild. Shit's wild. Like, prices of stuff out of control. Nobody's keeping up with their pay. Like, we got to do something. Tariffs are making things out of control. And Scotty, the not a hottie, said what?
Average Americans.
But I think the average Americans, they are hearing a lot of it from media coverage. The American people don't know how good they have it.
So the media coverage convinced us to think, yeah, it's awesome right now. It's just, I heard the news, which I don't watch. I heard the news tell me that other people thought it was polling poorly. That's it. This is the best we've got. These are the brains that are. I mean, no wonder he's the secretary. You know, I'd like to speak to the president of the Treasury. Is your boss there?
Do you think there is an affordability problem?
Sorry?
She goes, so you don't think there's a affordability problem? He goes, sorry. I wish the old joke, you know, the old joke where you go, sorry, and someone repeats what they said, and you go, no, I heard you. I just said, I'm sorry for that. I wish he does that here, but I don't think he's that clever.
You do believe that?
I think the Biden administration created a
No, but now we're nearly 12 months in. You said the president would own the economy at this point. 60%.
Yeah, so you really got to watch this clip on your own. It's on Reddit. It's on Face the Nation. It's everywhere right now. Because you got to see this dude going house, like, you know, the hand movements, the Sassimo. He's doing the sass hand movements because he wants to convince this news lady that the people they polled really were misled by the news lady to believe that it's worse than it is. If that sounds confusing, it's because these people lie through their teeth. My Christ.
Media coverage. The American people don't know how good they have it.
Do you think there is an affordability problem?
Sorry?
I love that. I know he's not being funny, but I just wish you went, sorry. And then she goes, you think there is? Well, here, I'll do it.
You do believe that?
No, I said I'm sorry. Of course there is. And I'm just apologizing for it because I have millions of dollars and don't care. You know, he should have done something like that. And then, like, tap danced out of there. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Fuck you. I mean, at this point, this regime, what are we going to do, you know? The maggot cult base, the MAGATS cult base that, like, supports this, they're too stupid to even get it that, like, Donald Trump's like, I don't give a shit about any of these people. I wouldn't invite them to my club, nothing. He's like, I did the whole crypto scheme where the highest bidder came to dinner. He's like, I showed up for, like, 3 minutes. Those people smell weird. You know, so they're too dumb. And the rest of us are like, what are we going to do? We're trying to work so we don't die from lack of health insurance. Roy Chung. I don't like your energy. Get the fuck out of here. What's up, Mel? What's up? Oh, you filthy swine. The beautiful new bill spends multi-trillions yearly in tax dollars. Yeah, I mean, we didn't even hit 12 months of that bill being signed. What did we sign the bill in the summer? And by October, they were like, we added $2 trillion to the deficit. Whoops. You know, at this point, these people should just be going on the news to go like, ba-dam-bam-ba-dam-bam, fuck you. Like, that should be their news segment. Because these, I mean, here's the other half of this. Because I worked at radio for 20 years. I watch it also, like, as the person who's interviewing. Like, I critique them almost just as much as, you know, old liar sack of shit Besant. But this lady, when he's like, sorry, stop asking these people you are inviting known, proven liars, George Soros funded, you know, oligarchs. You're inviting the oligarch class onto your network and you're thinking they're going to be like, yeah, we totally messed shit up. You know, he even went into like, yeah, Biden really gave us one, huh? And it's like, what are you talking? Dude, what? You know, like, I half blame the lamestream media because they're enabling this shit. Just be like, bro, have you been food shopping? You know, call them out. This dude is worth $600 million. You think he goes food shopping? My Christ. Have I got a bridge to sell you? It's a small one. It's a very small one. I made it myself with popsicle sticks. You can find it on Etsy. I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? It's like you're inviting this $600 million man on and you're going to ask him about affordability? Here's the thing. Here's how I would run my media show, okay? Let me tell what is this, Nora O'Donnell or some shit? I don't know who these people are. I don't even give a fuck. They're all the same person to me. They're all fucking nonsense. They're all these media heads. Face the nation. Fox News is the only one that's like, yo, this is WWE and we got to spruce this shit up, you know? And they're like, the M&M's coming to make all your pets gay. And old people are like, God damn, don't change the channel. I got to hear this. Honey, throw away the M&Ms, you know? But here, I grew up in the 90s. What's up? My name is Rob. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I grew up in the 90s. We had this little show called Jerry Springer. It had a spinoff called Steve. Steve Springer? Was Steve his son? Nobody ever knows. And what Jerry would do is he would bamboozle people. So if I was the head of CBS, which I'm clearly not because they have a fascist running shit in Barry Weiss. Yeah, she's a moron. Meritocracy's dead. Why would you burp like that on my live? That is disgusting. Excuse yourself. Anyways, but what I would do is I would pull from the old Jerry Springer, Ricky Lake playbook. And I would have Scott Besson on, right? Just like this. I'd be like, welcome to Face the Nation. Here's Scott Besson, Secretary of Treasuring. Secretary of Treasures. Welcome, Scott. And he would be like, hi, the media really made people think they have it worse than it is. They don't know how good they have it. And I'd be like, Scott, we have a surprise for you. Here are 40 average Joes from Deep Red MAGA. And I would just pit these motherfuckers against each other. I'd be like, why don't you tell us how great you have it right now? And I'd be like, Scott, your retort. And I would just Jerry Springer them. You know, that's what would make good news. You know, if you want clicks and likes or what, I don't know what the news operates on. I'm assuming clicks. Do they need clicks? I don't know. They're just all millionaires. It doesn't really matter. They don't give a shit. But that's what I would do. I would Jerry Springer the fuck out of this dude. I'd be like, Scott, I'm sorry, but I have Joe Pogge from, you know, Squirrel Possum, North Nebraska. And he's here to say egg is expensive. Come on, come sit down, Joe Pogge. And he'd, you know, be in there like, I can't miss the work. I have no federal sick time to take this time off, so I'm on the clock. And then we'd be like, Scott, your retort to Joe Pogge from North Nebraska, who says shit's tough right now. And he'd be like, son. And then Scott would go, son. Or how does he talk? He talks like a fucking Muppet.
Percent of Americans polled by this network told us President Trump makes price 6%.
Yeah.
Our latest
Shut up.
poll approval is even lower.
Shut up.
At 30. Oh, that.
Let Scott talk.
The media coverage of what's
The media coverage. The media coverage is what it is. It's Joe Biden and his media. Joe Biden's media. It's like these people are just like, go out there and say the trigger words. Lamestream media, Joe Biden, and you're in the clear, man. Everybody's going to be like, oh, thank God egg isn't really expensive anymore. And when I say egg, listen, when I say egg, there are some maggots that are like, egg is only this much. I use egg as groceries, okay? Because everybody last election was like, egg price, can you make egg cheap? And it was like, Donald Trump can't do that. The 4 people who produce eggs in America like collaborated and price fixed the price of eggs. It's been journalized. It's in articles. Like they made shit up. They were like, oh, the bird flu and transportation costs. And they were just like, guys, let's just charge them a shitload for eggs. And that's what they did. That's why do you think Netflix bought HBO Go or Max or whatever they're calling it? So they can own the whole market and charge you whatever they want. Okay? There's no free market in America. Welcome to the corporatocracy. But I just wish, you know, the media wasn't such their best friend. Like, you know, the media is like good friends with this guy. Because any decent society on a normal timeline Not this fucking alligator Loki timeline that we're on. But anyone who's in like a decent world would be like, bro, here I would have Scott Besson on and be like, ground rules. You can't blame the media for the polling that people fucking had. 2, you don't get to say Joe Biden. There's no Joe Biden, okay? Can we be a big boy and you not say Joe Biden? And I would just fucking be like, here are some people, listen to their story, you know? They could even do like cameos of Joe Schmoes all across West Virginia and Kentucky and be like, how great do you have it right now? What is it? I seen pictures of the food bank lines in Texas or Kentucky or some shit. I'm like, that's what they should do. They should go to the people waiting in food bank lines and be like, would you like to debate Scott Besson? And the topic is, he says you have it too good right now, versus your life, versus what you're experiencing, you know? But the media will never do that. I would. That's why you should hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. As soon as we get big enough and Scott Besson wants to come on, we're going to surprise him. We're going to be like, haha, Scott, we had some working class people on to counter your point of Americans have it too good. God, I can't believe this is like real life. You know, they just allow this Scott Besson, the Secretary of American Treasures or whatever it is. They just allow him to come on and just say whatever the fuck he wants. Like, don't you have a journalistic obligation? Is it like the Hippocratic Oath? Where you're like, we need to cut away from this. He's clearly a liar.
What's going on?
This is the polling of
No,
average
but,
Americans.
but I think the average Americans, they are hearing a lot of it from media coverage.
Like, at that point, how do you not go, what about the average Americans that are spending more and getting less? How does the media play into being like, well, last year my receipt says I spent this much for this much food, and this year, like, you understand, we can track all of this. Like, there are people posting shit. There are people like, hey, I buy the same thing every year. I have my records from last year, and it was this much more this year. You know, like, this isn't fucking some theory we're putting out there. This is like, yo, this is, but again, I don't know why I'm even entertaining this. These fucking people, Scott Besson, if you don't know, was a partner for George Soros with his fund worth $600 million, and he's telling everyday Americans that they don't know how good they have it. You don't know. I don't know if that's like, if he's foreshadowing. I don't know if he knows something we don't know. But I would just say, you know, the media is garbage. I would not invite Scott Besson on ever again. I don't know. Unless he's going to come with some hot goss from the fucking East Wing, you know. Like, show us pictures of the new Epstein Memorial Ballroom. And I'd be like, Scott, you know, we don't need you in here anymore, buddy. It's all right, Scotty. You go be Donald Trump's little secretary. Now, I also linked down below. Oh, shoot. I took a picture of it. I don't know if you know about Climate Town. Steffelson, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Politicians are the weeds of the galaxy. And Trump has to bail out Argentina. Whoa. Wait. Oh, my God. I don't know what's going on with that thing. Sorry. What's up, Sherry? How are you? Sorry, I'm just seeing the Volvita Voldemort. That's funny. Sorry, just seeing the chat. Thank you, Steffelson, for the $1.99 super chat. And if you're new here, please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I do commentary, just commentary. Sometimes I play musical instruments. My dog chewed. There's a dog whistle. See? It's a literal one, not a metaphorical one. And my dog chewed it. Bitch. So now it doesn't do the slide whistle. It was a slide whistle. I'm very disappointed because in this economy, you're not getting a second slide whistle. Everybody gets one, okay? And that's it. Now, I don't know if you've ever checked out Climate Town. I linked their video down below, but I just want to play this for you. I've already seen this video. It's an old video, but if you have not, Part of my responsibility to humanity is to share things that are interesting, knowledgeable, fascinating, and good. And I call it valuetainment. They're informative. Value, you get value, and you're tamed. You're tamed by it. So this is a short that they clipped from their old video, and it talks about the food dates. You know, the Best Buy dates on food? Turns out those are bullshit. And I've tested that theory. I've found that about a week after the Best Buy date, you can usually get away with eating it unless it's like visibly molded or something. Usually a week, depending on the food. And then some foods, anything other than a week, just be prepared to spend some time in the bathroom and learning a lesson. But I wanted to play this for you because this is Raleigh Williams, who does immaculate research for his videos, citations down below, kind of like I do. Oh, good to hear, Sherry. I'm glad you're doing good. AI is coming or normal lives are going. Noah, wrong. You're in the wrong paradigm, okay? When they say AI is coming, say good. You think I like going to my fucking job? Really? Good. Let AI take the jobs. When they keep threatening us with robots taking over and doing all our jobs, and I'm like, when? Can they do all the jobs right now? Let's just set up universal basic income, universal health care, and let the robots do the work. Why does it have to be a bad thing? See how long you've been conditioned and propagandized by America? You think AI robots are going to uproot our life. And I say, put them all to work. Put them all to work. They could go to the jobs, you know? You can Karen out on a robot at Wendy's when you get upset, or Cinnabon, or whatever the latest one was, you know? I think it would be awesome. But we just have to first ensure greatness for our communities, which is universal basic income, universal health care. I don't know what else we could set up, because we make enough food. We have enough housing in America, 25 empty homes for every one person that doesn't have a home. We clearly make enough food. We're going to get into it with this. So like, we have the resources to allow robots to take over. Why don't we do it? I don't give a shit. Like, let the robots go to work. Isn't that what we're building them for? It's not a threat to me. Take all the jobs. We don't give a shit. It's just there's greedy people that want to convince you that, ooh, the robots are going to take over, so you're screwed. And it's like, why? Why do we have to be screwed? What, are you paying the robots? You're not paying the robots. Get out of here. You're getting the work done for free. They're robots. What do they have? Robot babies to take care of? Robot egg to afford? Give me a break. All right, here's Climate Town with the Best Buy dates on food.
Notice that all of America's food is ominously stamped with the day that food will die. These so-called expiration dates on your food are not and have never been about whether your food is safe to eat. The date you see on packaging is usually just some guy's best guess at when you're going to have the optimal taste experience. But the mere presence of a date on food packaging leads to 84% of consumers and 100% of grocery stores throwing away perfectly good food because a box told them to. Misleading expiration dates are a major contributing factor in the United States wasting 40% of our total food supply.
Did you hear that? We have enough food. Nobody needs to go hungry in America. 40% of the food supply is wasted because of a Best Buy date. 40%. That's almost half for those of you with, not in education.
And the vast majority of that gets trucked to a landfill where it piles up, ferments, and turns into methane. And not to get too climate changey on you, but methane has a bad habit of fucking off into the atmosphere, where it lives the rest of its life as a greenhouse gas that traps heat 80 times more than carbon dioxide. And to be clear, it's not just expiration dates. Food waste is happening on every level of the food system. We lose 8 million tons of food per year because people get afraid of expiration date labels, but we also lose millions of tons to things like harvesting issues, mistakes and malfunctions, and food being considered too ugly. Food waste is one of the many things sustainable agriculture seeks to improve upon, and if you want to be part of the solution, take action now or drop in on an hour of action event with our friends over at Climate Change Makers.
If that does interest you, I did link climatechangemakers.org in the description for those who want to take action. I highly encourage it. I highly encourage it. All right, now we're going to get to some news. Are you ready, Newsies? Do you remember that movie, Newsies? That was a good movie. So we've been talking about the Venezuelan alleged, no evidence, the trust me bro regime of Donald Trump and Pete. I do fucking Botox Hegseth. I do Botox and say people aren't manly enough. They're not masculine enough. No more beardos. Pete Hegseth does Botox. Like, and he has the balls to turn around and be like, you guys aren't masculinely enough. Oh, God. This shit is like, you know, a weird joke. I feel like I'm on Ashton Kutcher's Punked. But we've been talking about that, right? And basically, Hegseth is getting investigated. I've been saying he's the Secretary of War Crimes. He's the Secretary. Why didn't they change that, Pete? Huh? Secretary? That's what they should call him on the news. Because this stuff triggers people like that, you know? If you call me Secretary, I don't give a shit. I don't care. It's a fucking word. But these people are very concerned with words. Very concerned. If you don't believe me, ask them about pronouns. They freak out. So Pete and Don were trying to throw the other military leaders under the bus last week when we talked about it in the cabinet meeting that I played for you. I said, "Oh shit, look at this. They're both going, "Oh, hey, listen, I know we're in charge, but we defer to the leadership in the military," which was prime example of I'm going to throw you under the bus and make it look like I'm saying like, "Oh, you do such a good job. You're basically in the lead here." And it's a really sniveling little swine rat way of trying to disown yourself from the responsibility and accountability that you need to take. And we listened to that last week. You could go back and check the live. And now we got some reporting like I've talked about. I love Democracy Now! If you haven't checked them out, they are on YouTube. I linked this article down below, and they talk about the Colombian fisherman's family who has filed a claim against the U.S. over the boat strike. They say a family of fishermen from Colombia has come forward and has filed the first formal challenge to the U.S. military strikes. In a petition filed with the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, the family says a strike on September 15th, 42-year-old Alejandro Carazan Medina, that's a lot of names, a fisherman from Santa Marta, Colombia, father of 4. His family says he was fishing for tuna and marlin off Colombia's Caribbean coast when his boat was bombed. He wasn't smuggling. And so we've been covering this, but now, and this is, you know, again, these people are filing a human rights claim, and I don't know, it seems like any responsible person in a leadership position, instead of striking, it would have stopped. Like, again, this is the American military we're talking about. We don't only have drones. You could stop these boats, you could confiscate stuff, you could, you know, many other ways, and they've shown us zero evidence. This is the most blatant, you can't even call them war crimes. You can't even call them war crimes because we're not at war. So these are just blatant, like, human rights violations of the worst kind. And Democracy Now! American Treasure. Yes, 100%. I love, what's her name? Amy Goodman. That's her name, I believe. Man, there's some weirdos in here. And someone says, Sports on, there wasn't 2 strikes, there were 4. Senator Tom Cotton spilled the beans on the 5th. Search for the video. Really? Hold on. Oh, is that Ah, my internet is horrible. God damn. Can't we have the South Korean internet that they have? Why is America like the worst crumbling infrastructure? ugh. I don't know if it's gonna come up. This sucks. Some of these people are weird. Like when somebody brings up the people that are dying from fentanyl a day, it's like, you understand that these strikes were against fishermen, and you do understand that the opioid crisis that switched into the fentanyl crisis was perpetrated by Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family, which were let off the hook. Let off the hook. They put their name, philanthropy, all over everything. The Sackler family. Look it up. And no government held them accountable. No president. Nobody held them accountable. So this isn't some other country that we need to look at. You need to look at these corporations in America that perpetrated these lies, sold their drugs to the American public saying they're not addictive when they knew damn well that they were highly addictive, put these crazy quotas for sales on people, and we're just selling it like hotcakes, which has led us to here. I mean, if you're my age and you were growing up in the 90s, I'm almost convinced you cannot have lived to this age without knowing somebody who has died from the opioid epidemic. I've known multiple people starting 20 something years ago when I was very young, my friends overdosing. And at no time were we like, I hope someday we hold Venezuela accountable. Like, at no time. And by the way, this is a Colombian dude, so they're saying they're going to war with Venezuela, but these are Colombian guys, like, you know. So again, just fucking, it's all in defense of their chicken supreme leader. I'm sick of these Russian fucking trolls, man. Guys, I'm not claiming anything. I do a commentary and bring you what the news is showing you. Fucking morons. Okay. I finally got something. The U.S. military launched 4 missile strikes in total on a suspected vessel in international waters. Yep. 4 strikes. And all for what? You know, if you really want to get a hold of the drug war, you know what you do? You hold the Sackler family and Purdue Pharma accountable. You make rehab accessible in America. Nationalize the healthcare. Pay for it with Millionaires Taxes, which, by the way, that's another news story that I want to talk about. I don't know if you've seen this. And guys, just stop. You know, I know they're the Nigerian princes and the Russian bots in here trying to hump for this dude, acting like, oh no, everything's good. You're acting like Scott Besson right now. Be like, no, you don't know how good you got it. Shut your face. Not on my live stream, okay? Fake tan, fake net worth, fake crowd side, fake university, fake faith, fake conspiracies, fake charity, fake electoral scheme, fake voter fraud, fake genius, fake book author, fake bone spurs, fake peace prize. Everything about that dude is a phony. So this ain't the place to try to defend him, okay? You're not going to defend Epstein's best friend here, the essayer. But did you guys see this? In Fortune, they talk about the Millionaires Tax that inspired Mamdani fuels $5.7 billion haul in Massachusetts. Now, I continually bang on this drum, and I'll keep doing it because people need to understand, because this stuff is so underreported. But taxing millionaires and billionaires works. It works. The tax that Zoran ran on, taxing the wealthy, that like 50 Cent was like, I'll pay you a year's salary and a first class ticket to get out of here. They threatened all the rich people will leave New York. And it's like, well, good. Then New York will be affordable again. But none of this stuff, it's all fear mongering, because we in Massachusetts did a 4% surtax on everything over $1 million. And it's created a $5.7 billion windfall. We've repaired bridges, bolstered literacy programs, transportation. Oh, hold on. All right, all right. What is going on in the chat? I love that people are just having. Hold on. I just want to mute some people. Johnny Las Vegas, suck it. Jesus does love you. And Jesus never charged a copay, and he fed the hungry. He didn't ask people when he had the loaves and the fish. He didn't say to my disciples, hey, go around and ask everybody if they're working a 40-hour week. Make sure they're not being lazy. Jesus just fed everybody. So as long as you, include that when you say Jesus loves you, because a lot of these people say Jesus loves you, and then they turn around and go, snap, lazy. They should be working harder. And it's like, no. Jesus didn't do that when he fed the masses. He didn't give a shit if anybody was working or not. He just fed them. Oh, there's another loser. Las Vegas gas is $3.59. Personally, I don't give a shit about the price of gas. It's funny. I always think it's really funny when people are like, gas prices are this. It's like, who gives a fuck? Who cares what gas prices are at? How's your health care? How much do you make compared to how much homes are? I love that. I really think the media, that's one of the things I do believe the media has hijacked the conversation, and the media will show you how much gas prices are. Oh, look at gas prices are. Gas prices up, gas prices down. We shouldn't be using gasoline anymore. It's a finite resource. It's a fossil fuel. It's going to run out. We should be transitioning away from it. We have the sun. We have the technology. And somehow the media still acts like gas prices reflect anything. Doesn't matter. It's so irrelevant. You know what the media should be saying every fucking newscast? Well, we still don't have universal health care. This many people died today of lack of access to health care. That would be helpful. If they played that at the end of every news clip, how many people lost their lives today because they could not afford the care that they needed in the greatest country in the world, in America? I think we could get some stuff done. No one gives a fuck about gas prices, or at least I don't. And if you do, and you center your whole economic life and political take on what a gas price is, then I don't know. We're fucking talking different levels, because for me, I don't give a shit if gas is $10 a gallon. Guess what? If we have free healthcare paid for by billionaires' taxes, the world is going to be a better place, no matter what. If we have universal healthcare, people are going to be happier, healthier, and better. So, gas prices are the same as last year, yeah. But that's why it's it doesn't. I'm going to put you on timeout. I'm just going to start putting you motherfuckers on timeout, because don't come into my chat fucking talking to me like that. $7.50 for a latte. Yup. Wait. I was reading somebody's. Gas prices are the same as last year. Unemployment's up. Inflation is up. Grocery prices up. Energy prices up. States are going into recession. And on top of that, this regime has canceled all the numbers. The GDP, the jobs numbers, they've canceled all the reports, so you can't tell any of it. I believe we're already in recession. We've been in recession. It's just when they don't give you any information, and the media's complicit, they're just like, they canceled it. I don't know what to do. I guess we'll poll some people. Oh. Yeah, when it's that's the other thing. Hold on, who said that? X-ray. When it's $7.50 for a latte, it's literally the cost of a 1 hour's federal minimum wage work. You have to work at the federal minimum wage up in New Hampshire. You have to work for 1 hour to buy one latte. Ruminate on that. 1 hour to buy one drink. So... who works at the minimum wage? A lot of people. Just count yourself as blessed that you don't know anybody that does. You should really count yourself as blessed, And in finding this out, you should go, wow, that's unacceptable. Really, I care for my American neighbors, and I would not want anybody to have to earn that little. But it's usually they don't act like that. They're usually like, well, get a job, get educated, get a second job. It's like, God damn, you fucking moron. So stupid. Okay. Sorry. A $5.7 billion windfall. But what they don't mention in this first paragraph is that the Massachusetts Millionaires Tax, 4%, income's over $1 million. No kid has to pay for school lunch or school breakfast. They go to school, they get lunch and breakfast paid for free. Paid for by millionaires' taxes. And for all you who are gonna, go, oh, the poor millionaires, you just want something for free from them? No, they utilize our state. They use up all our resources. They use more than we can. But it's also them giving back to the community, their fair share of taxes, just like we pay our fair share. You could just look percentage-wise. Percentage-wise, if I donate a little bit of money, percentage-wise, that's more than what Elon Musk donates. You get what I'm saying? I know it's tricky with math and numbers, but... and also, if you want to go to get a bachelor's degree here in Massachusetts, you can do it for free at any community college. And guess what? Our state is better. Our state is better because of this. And that's why I want to go over this again. I wanted to show you this Fortune magazine. The link down below, you can read it too. Wait, I can't read. Hold on. Many high-income taxpayers are staying in the Boston area despite the tax hike. Well, you know why? Because they're millionaires, and a 4% tax doesn't mean they can't afford rent or egg. Their kids will still go to the top schools. They can still afford vacations. This doesn't put them in the broke house like when you tax the working people. When you tax working people, that little bit of money is the difference for them. It is the difference for them. For people with excess income and compounding interest on savings, it is not the difference for them. So that fear-mongering of they're going to leave, they're not. They love this state. It's a fucking awesome place to live. And the better thing about this tax is when more people are educated and healthy and doing better, overall the neighborhoods all do better, for all those law and order people. Just so you know, if people feel like there's some value to life and they're not starving, usually the quality of life in all neighborhoods goes up. I know it's a tricky concept that the media doesn't want you to know. But, okay, here we are. At the end of the day, here's Sam Slater, a real estate developer who pays the millionaires tax. At the end of the day, I happen to believe it's a phenomenal place to live. You're goddamn right, Sam. Hold on, this just goes into all that stuff. He lives in Massachusetts rather than Scottsdale, the desert where they're going to, have to fight. The water wars will begin there. The voters approved the surtax in 2022. I helped make that possible. Where was the other stat? Hold on. Look at this. Tax generated estimated $3 billion, but wait. But they estimated $3 billion, but we actually got $5.7 billion. Look at that, we're doing good. People who thought this tax would backfire will have to concede now that it generates a substantial amount of additional revenue. And I heard some lobbyists fight against it. I seen billionaires, the Kraft family, this woman billionaire. These billionaires were sending out pamphlets to everybody's home with fear-mongering. I should have saved the pamphlets. I should not have thrown them away. And you could look up, it said paid for by da-da-da-da-da. And you looked it up, and it was just billionaire families in Massachusetts trying to advocate to not be taxed, even though they're billionaires. And I mean, they really were. Hold on, my dog must have come in. Okay, calm down. Come here. They were super advocating for it. But you see this, individuals with incomes over 1 million were responsible for 35% of total payments in 2022, the year before the millionaires tax took effect, the most recent period. Now, wait, where's... God, I can't read with all the chat. I can't read it. Some whole private executives deed to camp for lower state taxes because of the surcharge. Reynolds, former partner and CEO of Putnam Investments. He moved to Florida, but hold on. Where does it say? Said his recent move to Florida was due to family reasons. So people were like, see, one guy left. They're like, no, it's family reasons, man. And then look, a study by a progressive research organization found that the number of millionaires in Massachusetts jumped. Do you know what that means? Let me break it down. For everybody who says the millionaires will leave, it means it increased. So for all the fear mongering, remember they said millionaires will leave New York if you tax them. They said that about Massachusetts in 2021, leading up to 2022, and through 2022 till November when we voted for the tax. And from 2022 to 2024, millionaires, let's not say jumped, so we can be very clear. The millionaires in Massachusetts grew. The percentage of millionaires grew by 39%. We taxed them more, but more of them came from the tax. So we increased our millionaire population by taxing wealthy people. Now, I don't want to theorize on why, but I will. Because when you have smarter people, better educated people, when you have kids that don't have to worry about if they're going to eat during the day because they can't afford a meal and being able to study, or you have people that want to come here because of the great communities, because of the sense of community, because we value people, because we're investing in the infrastructure, you're going to get more wealthy people. It's just fucking common sense. The most cited reasons for residents to move elsewhere. The tax policy. Ooh. But the overflow of residents to other states also predates the surtax and reflects other factors, such as high housing costs, which is a national problem. The crazy thing about housing costs, wait, did I take a picture of it? Hold on. You guys are going to love this. You're going to love this. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on. I'm getting to the memes. You'll like it. Just don't worry. Here it is. So JD Vance, remember when he said a lot of the young people are saying housing's way too expensive. Why? Because they flooded the country with 30 million immigrants. Question. I'm not a real estate or banking expert, so I'm just curious about JD Vance's claim. Hey, get out of there. Get over here. What did I say? Come. Good girl. So I'm just curious about J.D. Vance's claim that 30 million undocumented immigrants are buying up all the houses. Do banks give home loans to folks who make minimum wage without even a social security number? So again, here in America, we have about 26 empty homes for every homeless person. I believe there was just a study I showed on the live stream that said multi-housing multi-housing vacancies were at 7%, a record high. What are you eating? So we have vacancies at a record high. We have this many houses empty. Why? Well, it's not because immigrants, they're not keeping those houses vacant. There's price gouging, price fixing in Arizona that those landlords were caught doing. There's corporate landlords buying everything up. But more importantly, who can purchase the assets? Who can purchase the assets? Who can afford to purchase the assets? Who can afford to pay over price, over market value to ensure that they get the asset? It's usually not people crossing a border. And it's certainly not you and I, because I believe that, Laura Ingraham just said when she was talking to Donald Trump, she said the new first-time home buyer age rose to 50 years old in America. Horrible. So it looks like it's the wealthy people who are consolidating their wealth and power. They're the ones ruining the housing market for us. Stop eating the cat's food. Don't do that. Hey. Quailson, he's dumb because he's dumb. Sorry, I don't understand. You're trying to, no, I muted her. I'm not going to let her come into my fucking live stream and talk to me like that. Are you kidding? I got too much self-respect for myself. I'm not going to let some moron fucking come in here and talk to me like that. You gotta be crazy. You gotta be crazy. I'm also showing the youth how to know their self-worth. And someone comes in here saying some stupid shit like, you're dumb. No explanation, nothing, no debate, no, let me debate this meme that he's bringing to me, nothing. Just proving that they're fucking moronic, and I'm gonna let them get away with it? Girl, I got too much self-worth for that. You don't get to talk to me like that, okay? You go do your own live stream. You could just do a short video where you go, this guy I saw was dumb, you know, and see how many likes you get. You fucking moron. Get out of here. All right, you little scamp. You little scamp. I called you a scamp. You ever been called a scamp by a YouTuber? Well, now you have. Go put that in your bio, you Fruit Loop. Let's see. What did I told my dog to stop eating the cat food, and you can hear her. Stop. Come here. Stop. Come here. Come here, you crazy little mutt. Shh. Please stop eating the cat food. This is a feral pig I found. See, I got a feral hog. Hello. No, there's nothing in it. There's nothing in the cat food. She's just licking the bowl. Hello. Because she's not supposed to be down here, right? This is the kitty lair. I hate to mention it, but Kamala Harris had a plan for working with contractors and developers to create, quote, affordable housing, but these people would rather listen to stories about Hannibal Lecter. I'm glad you mentioned it. Well, because I say, listen, Kamala had a whole plan to combat the price gouging, to combat inflation, the price fixing that these corporations, there's like 6 corporations that own all the grocery stores in America. It's just like there's 6 corporations that own all of the media in America, like 90% of what you see, hear, and read. Yeah, so there was like, plans for it, but you're right. People were like, oh, tell us about that great historical figure, Hannibal Lecter. I really believe in education for the people. I really think we need to educate our people. I have a furry kid too. This furry kid won't stop licking my hand. Stop licking my hand. I know. You could taste the food I had for lunch. Yeah. Did I get some on me? Okay. Okay. Good girl. Section 8 housing can be on, like, you should look into other countries. I wish, let me show you this meme. Hi, Norwegian here. Here's a fun fact about taxes in Norway. We don't file them. Your employer reports your income and deducts the right amount each month. Then the government sends you a pre-filed tax return in March. You check it and everything looks right. You click OK. If you paid too much, you get a refund. If you paid too little, you get an invoice. No paperwork, no stress. Follow for more real-life glimpses into social democracy. And then it's Trond Solberg, 71. I don't know what medium this is on. But I read that, and because we all have the internet at our fingertips, I said, let me research that. Let me see if that's true. And it turns out, the Skatentaten. God damn, that language is beautiful. Skatitaten. It's the scatting tatting. It turns out that is accurate. But here in America, we're very myopic. We live in an American bubble, and we think whatever we do must be the greatest because the media told us we're the best. But really, I would say that this Norwegian way of taxes, where you don't have to pay a CPA every year or file them on your own and pray you got it correctly, sounds much better. How would you like it if in March you get a pre-filled tax return, and if you look at it and you go, yeah, that looks about right, you just click OK, and then you get your refund, or if you have to pay, you pay. Anybody? Would you rather do this than have to go through figuring out what you owe or don't owe for taxes? Oh, we got an idiot in here, Christopher. Way to show off how fucking dumb you are. You know America is about changing things, right? That's why we have amendments to the Constitution. Oh, maybe Christopher's stupid. He doesn't know what amending something means. Oh, poor idiots. See, this is why we really got to teach the youth, folks, because then you grow up and you become a moron like Christopher. Oh, so Christopher, you think we're still doing the 3/5 clause, right? That was back in the 1700s. Do you think we're still doing that? Maybe you're one of those racist fools. Or Christopher, what do you think about America hasn't changed since the 1700s? Besides the Second Amendment. Oh, poor idiot. He doesn't understand that here in America, you can push to change things. Women's suffrage, civil rights, there's a bunch of different things you could cite. So I love when those people come in and go, if you don't like it, why don't you leave? Here's my advice to you, Christopher. If you want a fascist dictator, you should go back to Russia, because I'm guessing that's probably where you're tweeting from or commenting from. We found you out when Elon exposed all your account locations. But if you really want a fascist regime, you could go to Russia, because it sounds like, you know, the guy you voted for is kind of an asset to them anyways. But here in America, the whole fucking concept of America is we can push for change. We can change things if we don't like them. Christopher had 3/5 of his bottle of vodka. No, that's got to be, you just got to be a moron. Look, there's a guy named Pierre, maybe you're a guy, saying he loves Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. He supports tearing down the White House to build the Epstein Memorial Ballroom. Okay, weird. Don't say that in this live. Go to Ben Shapiro or Tim Pool's live, you know? Go tell your maggot friends who don't care about child predators. Go brag to them. Here, we draw the line in the sand. Here on this channel, hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you come in here saying, I love that guy who bragged about going into girls' locker rooms at the pageants he owned and creeping them out. If you say shit like that, I'm going to go, oh, you are inappropriate and people don't allow your children around that one. Don't allow your children around Pierre. But does this sound good to you? This is how Norway does it. Norway does their taxes. So, like somebody was saying, Section 8, Suction 8. We could have great public housing. You should look into the public housing throughout Europe and how they do things. Everybody, Donald Trump always likes to say, oh, I wish we got more immigrants from Europe. They're never going to fucking come here because most of those countries have universal health care, some kind of social welfare, a welfare safety net. Their prisons are not for profit, and a lot of them are really good rehabs to bring people back into the community. And, you know, they have public housing. They ensure their people have food, shelter, and healthcare. 3 things you need to live. And a lot of European countries have been like, oh, that's where we just start. Like, that's the bare level. You know, that's the bare bottom of the barrel. Like, food, shelter, and healthcare. Like, those are the 3 things that every society should have, like, on lock so you can have a great civilization. And somehow here in America, there are people, even in the fucking comments, no, come on, you're too big to sit in my lap. All right, come here. You're just a little baby. Okay. You don't need shelter to love. I like that comment. Yeah, we're an authoritarian regime. 100%. I love this person. I'm gonna mute you after I talk about your comment. Do they get their choice of doctor or a hospital and universal healthcare? No, Scott, you know what they get? They get to live. You fucking moron. You know who doesn't get to choose their doctor or hospital? Everybody in America. You are sound so blessed, Scott. You're so blessed. God bless you, because if you get to choose what doctor you want to go to, that means you have enough money to go to the doctor. Most people in America are struggling for that, and they're at the whim of the plan they're on. If you don't know how healthcare works in America, you're on a plan, and then you have to find it in network or out of network. Maybe Scott doesn't have in or out of network, but you know what? You know what the European countries don't have? 65,000 plus Americans dying every year from lack of access to healthcare. 65,000 more Americans every year. That's why I said the news should really cover that. I don't know what that breaks down to per day, but the news, at the end of every newscast, they should sign off saying, if we had universal healthcare, this many people would not have died today. That's what the European countries don't have. They don't have hundreds of thousands of people dying, their countrymen dying because they don't have access to the healthcare, because they got denied by their insurance company. Even though the doctor said they need it, they got denied, or they couldn't afford it. So stupid comment, Scott, but thanks for bringing it up. Jesus Christ. Oh, EU doesn't pay for EMS either. That is correct. Everybody should watch, what's his name? What's his name? Michael Moore's Where to Invade Next. It's free on YouTube. I own the movie. I paid for it. Where to Invade Next. Michael Moore goes around the European Union, says, I'm going to, confiscate we're going to invade and take these things from your country. And he goes to like England and different countries, and he goes to the ER in England. And he's like, how much was your ambulance ride here? And they were like, how much? And he's like, yeah, in America, it's like $3,000 to $7,000, and they just started laughing. They were like, "No, you're kidding, right? For an ambulance ride to make sure you don't die?" And he was like, "Yeah," and they were bewildered. So that's what they have, Scott. And yes, Mark says most with universal have private healthcare as an option. The other thing about that universal healthcare with the private healthcare option in Canada, if you don't know, I love to talk about this because knowledge is power. Once you know this is what I teach people. You can't unhear what I've said. So in Canada, and you could look this up, we talked about it here on the live stream, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get this information and pass it along. In Canada, they have the national healthcare system and the private one. And they made insulin free for everyone. It doesn't matter if you have the private or the national. Insulin is free because you need it to live. And here in America, they charge you what, $2,000? I know a few people that are like, I have to ensure that I make this much money so I don't die, which is crazy, crazy. Especially when you think our neighbors to the north somehow managed to make nobody die from it, or access to it. Nobody die from lack of access to it, I should say. $35 for you. My friend who takes it was telling me $2,000 he needs. So if you're telling me it's $35, that's got to be a new number, because the big deal about insulin in America was not that it was cheap. You know what I mean? Or maybe are you pumping the old Donald Trump 700% off? Remember when he said, "Hey, Big Pharma, we negotiated with them and they're going to take 700% off of your medications," which means if your medication, I think, is $50, they would pay you $350 to take the medicine. I can't believe people listen to this guy. Oh my God. It's kind of obscene, but my friend's kid is $900 a month for insulin. Huh, that's interesting. That's not 35. Where was that liar? Let's see. There we go. Let's put him in timeout so he can stop fucking being a moron. We gotta, that's the other thing that I want to inspire the youth to see. See me take action. When you see someone being a complete moron, don't be afraid to go, no, shut your face. I understand sometimes these stupid people can be very confident. They're confidently stupid. That's what Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, Tim Pool, Donald Trump, they all embolden people to be confidently stupid. Hold on, I got a meme. Hold on. Hold on. Space Karen. These people, this lot of people, they inspired people to be confidently stupid. They call this man an inventor. Okay, PayPal, founded by Max Levchin. Tesla, founded by Martin and Mark. SpaceX, engineer Tom Mueller. He's never invented anything, never designed anything. And when he does have an idea, when he says, how would you like to avoid traffic and travel in a tunnel underground? You go, you mean a subway? And then he abandons that idea. So people like him and Donald Trump and Joe Rogan and Tim Pool, they have made people think, oh, you could just be a fucking moron. As long as you're confident about it, people will back off and they won't question you. And if you repeat it enough, they'll start calling you a great inventor. This dude has never invented shit. He's bought his way into everything. His old daddy Emerald Mine helped him buy his way into everything. And he's an illegal immigrant. Call eyes. Only person to call eyes on this one. But these people, they will try to confidently act stupid in front of you and just, firmly but confidently go, no, dummy, no. But God bless you. God bless all the morons. We're fighting for you too. That's what they forget, that the world we're fighting for is a better world for them too. We're fighting for you to have universal health care. Even the people that go naysay or think that insulin is what it isn't, we're fighting to have this stuff accessible to people. So people don't have to worry about price of egg, housing, cost of groceries and cost of healthcare and the rising prices. We're fighting for everyone. Even the people who are fighting against it, that would benefit them, we're fighting for them. And I don't want that to get lost on anyone. People, whoever that was that said that dumbass comment, go to your Tim Pool, I submit and bootleg for corporate puppets like this one, who doesn't have an original idea of his own. Like, if you're a Republican at this point, just know that you're just stomping for fucking corporations. That's all. Like, if you're a libertarian, you're just saying like, hey, I want Dennis Prager to be able to do whatever he wants. I don't want to have any rights when I go to work. Just understand that. Like, the Republicans, they're not conservative. You mean Grinder Mike, Donald Trump, who cheated on all his wives, has a bunch of baby mamas. Elon Musk, who's like 15 fucking baby mamas, doesn't care for any of his kids. Like, they're just conservative puppets. That's it. So just know that. I wouldn't say you have to get out of here if you're a Republican or MAGA, but just don't confidently act like a moron, Understand that when you're fear-mongered to, you're like, oh, is this a woke channel? You know what that means? We don't want corporations to have all the say. You know what that means? We don't want your healthcare to be tied to your work. We don't want you to not be able to afford an ambulance ride. We don't feel like you should have to work all of your life and never fucking retire. So just stay fucking quiet. I don't want to hear about Trump or fucking how you want to bootlick for these people who will clearly rob you of your rights in a heartbeat. Like, let us do our work. Just shut the fuck up and be obedient. That's the only thing you're good at. A lot of these MAGA, they just wait for Donald Trump to tell them something and they repeat it. And that's it. They just wait for the talking point, not an original fucking idea of their own. And the rest of us are sitting here going, we need some new shit. We need some new stuff. And it's going to work because you can look around the world and see where universal healthcare works, where people enjoy their lives. And you can see that, and steal your taxpayer money. That's right. That's the other thing they do. Jesus was woke. Yes, he was. He was wicked woke. It's so weird how stupid people like confidently go around. Because to not understand that wanting people to not die from lack of health care, like the Republicans tried to triple your healthcare rates. They tried to take away healthcare from the most vulnerable. They had people starving, didn't want to fund SNAP. there's no use in explaining it. Some people are just so fucking dumb. Jesus, also a brown immigrant. That's right. Jesus wasn't white. Teddy Roosevelt, 2028. Hey, listen, I joke about that all the time. I say we need to bring back the Bull Moose Party. Textbook, 1930s Germany. Yup. All right, where were the other memes that I had? Oh yeah, look, a notable aspect of private health insurance is the absence of any reason for it to exist. It does not contain costs, expand coverage, or expedite care. It makes all those worse. Its sole function is to profit as a rent-seeking middleman between patients and providers. That's it. And if you don't believe me, next time you go to the doctor, ask your doctor how their experience with health insurance companies are. I've done it because I want to know. And they'll tell you. They'll be like, sometimes it's a nightmare. You'll know a patient needs something and they'll just fucking flat out deny it. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that like the people who deal with shit the most can say like this system's broken, which we've seen a lot of doctors come out and say that. They've even exposed shit. They've filmed it. They filmed these calls with insurance company people. And then you still get morons in the chat. I'm guessing they're like, you know, paid Russian divisive people. Because we know Tim Pool was paid by Russia. He admitted it. He said, whoopsie, I was duped. Trust me for your news, I was duped by the Russians. I can't believe that's real life. Sorry. But anyway, my point was like, you know, listen to the doctors. If the doctors say the system is broken, it might be broken. But I love making this note. Tim Pool literally said, the Russians tricked me into taking $400,000 a month from them. They tricked me. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know it was them. And people still go to him as like a viable source of anything. If you told me you got tricked into taking $500,000 from Russia every month, I'd be like, I don't know if I trust your decision making. I don't think you have the fucking discernment to be able to tell me about the news. But here he is, you know. I'm guessing the numbers are maybe faked a little. Maybe. Oh yeah, you see this. He's talking about, this was an old tweet, right? March. But just so everybody knows, Trump pardoned Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht, who's sentenced to life for running an online platform with 200 million in those sales. So, by the way, here's our handsome boy giving us the power to the people. Free Luigi, innocent till proven guilty. That's Saint Luigi. He saved people from time restrictions on anesthesia. Saved millions of lives. So, look, Elon Musk meddling in the EU stuff, and I love Melanie. Time to abolish billionaires and redistribute everything over $999,999,999 to initiatives that help the people and communities they exploit and repair the damage they've done. Billionaires have bought too much influence and are a threat to the planet, 100%. By the way, the Gravel Institute, great. I don't know if they're still doing stuff. But I want to point this out and how untrustworthy the media is. Someone stole $950 worth of items from Walgreens. There were 309 stories about it, news stories. Walgreens was caught stealing 5 million from employees. It just got a single story. The biggest theft in America is wage theft. Remember that. Remember that. And I think our taxes should be like they do in Norway. You know, let's make an amendment where people don't have to guess. How come every right-wing solution to poverty, hunger, health, and employment involves giving rich people more money? It's so true. It's so true. Scott Bessent told Americans. He told Americans, I still can't get over this. Scott Bessent, here he is. Ready? Let's play this clip.
Feel the pain?
Well, Margaret, I think the president's frustrated by the media coverage of what's going on.
This is the polling of average Americans.
But I think the average Americans, they are hearing a lot of it from media coverage. The American people don't know how good they have it.
Do you think there is an affordability problem?
Sorry?
You do believe that?
I think the Biden administration created a
No, but now we're nearly 12 months in. You said the president would own the economy at this point.
It's unreal. The way people excuse these. If you're paid, you know, if you're worth millions of dollars and you're in a leadership position, I know it's a secretary, but you shouldn't be able to act like this. You know, no one should take you seriously if you're like, oh, Biden. It was the media convincing people that they don't have it good. Americans have it very good. Does everybody feel like you got it really good right now? Private, you know, the brown shirts on the streets, prices no break. Where's your Doge dividend check? Anybody get their tariff refund yet? Any of that stuff coming? Huh? How's your healthcare premiums? It's just incredible, man. We could take it back. Fuck these people. Fuck them all. They're liars. They're grifters. They're robbing us of our tax money. And they're doing nothing to help us. We're seeing it time and time again. More and more people are waking up to it. And I would encourage you to make this unacceptable. More importantly, face the nation, unacceptable for your pushback. Like, you shouldn't have him on and allow him to do this. You should have him on and then go, surprise, we have Joe Blow from West Virginia here to tell you how good he has it, you know? And then have common Americans come in and be like, this. You know, if you allow him the platform to say Americans, they don't know how good they have it. You should at least have some real working Americans on your platform too, to say, well, how good is it? Let me explain my situation right now, you know? So, oh God, I'm so tired of these people. Bootlickers, yep. All right, guys, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I go live every single weekday. I bring you commentary. And release the files, Donald Trump. You said you wanted them released. You signed the thing on November 20th. Supposed to have 30 days. Tick, 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 tick. An innocent person would just have released them. He campaigned on releasing them. He said it on Fox News. He pointed Dan Bajina and Cash App Patel to the FBI. They were just fucking podcasters. They have zero qualifications, zero merit to be where they are, because they said they would release them, and they still haven't. So release the files. Stop building a memorial ballroom in honor of your best friend, Jeffrey Epstein, and just release the files. What's the problem? Are you all over them? Prove that you're not. All right, guys. Love and support from Germany. To all real Americans who stand against this fascist regime. 100% serious, Snape. Solidarity. Good to see worldwide. I love that. I love that. We need more people from around the world. We need to utilize the globalization of, you know, the internet and our world in positive ways for working people to understand that things can be better and that we stand with each other. So thank you, Germany. Appreciate you, Snape. Oh, I'm going to really make this Reagan person mad. Guess what? Not only not going to talk about it, but I just muted you. I just muted you. Oh, that's going to suck. Oh, what's up, Crush? What's up, Crush? Oh, thank you, Serious Snape. Appreciate you. I'm so glad you stopped in. That's cool. Man, I want to go to Germany. I want to go to the Black Forest. God. And there's a couple castles out there I want to see. Protest in all possible ways, always. That's why I always say, speak out. Speak out. It is vitally important to speak up, show other people like, hey, I ain't fucking scared to speak out against this fascism. You know, these grifters trying to consolidate power and wealth. Always speak out, you know? So I appreciate you. Yeah, gas prices are the same as last year. I've been seeing memes, seeing people post it. It's so funny. It's so funny. They're like, oh, they got gas prices down. Down to what? The prices they were last year. Who gives a shit? You know? You know what? Tell them, oh, Charlie Kelly's here. What's up? Nothing's wrong with Philly. Love Philly. Who's talking shit about Philly? Love Philly. You know what I want to see? I want to see, I love it. Somebody says speaking does nothing though. Oh, really? If speaking does nothing, why is Donald Trump always fucking talking? That dude doesn't do shit. He just does press conferences all day. Cabinet meetings. I had 9 cabinet meetings. What do those consist of? A bunch of talking. Propaganda. Right. Don't listen to those people. I'm telling you, those people that go, oh, talking does nothing. Oh, okay. Words are useless, right? They're useless, right? Why does Donald Trump just fucking campaign all the time? Why is all you see him doing is sitting in front of a press talking? That guy talks out of his ass. He sometimes talks just to hear himself talk. It is vital to speak out. Silence is complicity. That's an old Martin Luther King Jr. thing. But, but these people will hump hard for MAGA, and we're going to let them know we ain't fucking scared of you. You're ruining our country. Not only are we going to take it back, but we're going to ensure that the people don't suffer. We were going to fight for better education, universal health care, UBIs, 3-day work week. No more 55 is the cutoff to be a politician. No more Pelosi's, Schumer's, Donald Trump, 80 years old, doesn't know where he has, dementia. My God, we got to fucking fix this shit. So, all right, guys. Dozy Dawn. All right. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Much love. Peace.